Welcome back to the channel, fellas. All right, so we've got a new quick video for you guys. Hopefully I won't take up too much of your time. But today we're working on maintenance, just more maintenance things. I think last video I did would have been for the coolant flush. This time, I've had a couple of issues here, hit or miss, with my pressure, my fuel pressure. So I think it actually has to do with my high pressure fuel sensor, which it should be on the back of the fuel rail. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump in here real quick. I'll identify that for you guys. Then I'm gonna have to get the rear seat out real quick so that we can make sure we disconnect the fuel pump, get all the fuel out of the line so we can remove that fuel sensor and put a new one in. So again, if this is your first time to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. I look at all the analytics and it looks like a lot of you guys watching the videos are not subscribers. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I wanna try to keep bringing this content to you, as well as mods and all sorts of stuff on the vehicle. So we will jump into this now. Okay, we got some light here, so hopefully we'll be able to see this. But right back here, underneath the intake, you can see that you can see the fuel pressure sensor is right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to need to remove the two Torx bolts that are right there, as well as there's one on the other side, maybe actually two on the other side. And then we're going to get access to that fuel sensor right down there so that we can get that unscrewed and actually get the new one put in. So again, before we do that though, we're going to jump into the back seat. And if you guys haven't done that before, it's pretty easy to remove your rear seat. You're actually just going to come down here and pull up just like that. Seat is free. We're just going to wiggle around our seat belts, and then we'll pull the back seat out. Okay, and with the back seat out, I just grabbed my impact, electric impact here with just a 10mm socket. We're just going to knock these out real quick. So just like we would do when we did the low pressure fuel pump upgrade, I'm gonna pull that off, and then we have access to our connections. So what we're gonna do, typically what I do is I start the vehicle and I just go ahead and disconnect both of these. So I'm gonna get that started real quick, and we'll get back to you guys under the hood in just a second. So we've actually got everything disconnected at this point. We have started the car multiple times, and now we've also removed the Torx bolts that were right down here on this basically holder. Now I'm actually just going to reach in here. We can see our fuel pressure sensor right there at the end of the fuel rail. Reach back in here and just disconnect the sensor, which is hard to do with one hand. All right, there we go. So there, just disconnected it here. And actually that connection is actually coming off the JB4. And there you can see right there, fuel pressure sensor. So what I'm going to go do right now is grab my wrench, as well as grab some towels, just because even though we should not have fuel, high pressure built up, there's probably going to be still some fuel in the system, and we want to make sure that we collect all that so it's not all over the engine. So we're just going to grab some towels real quick. I almost forgot, one quick thing that we always want to do before we actually start removing that sensor, grab our FCP Euro box, make sure we open this up and we make sure that the new sensor that we have is the correct one. So sorry, hard to do with one hand. But we always like to use FCP Europe just for the lifetime warranty, so that's always really cool. And we reach in here, we've got our Bosch sensor. And get it opened up real quick. And that does look like the correct sensor here. The connection looks correct. So now we should be good to go ahead and remove the other sensor so we can get this installed. Okay, sorry guys, this is not the best angle to try to record from, so I'm trying to get you what I can. And what we're gonna do here is get our wrench on here if we can. So it's really, really tight as far as space is concerned. All right, just gonna get this moving a little bit here. And we're spinning. So this is not a very difficult job, to be honest with you. So we've got this moving now by hand, as you can see. We're just going to spin it off and just put the new fuel sensor on. All right. There's the old sensor right there. Didn't lose a lot of fluid there, and now we're back with our new sensor. Sorry, I'm pretty sure that angle is going to be pretty horrible, but unfortunately, with this, with the location of this sensor, is not the easiest thing to get you guys a video of. Okay. Took a minute, but now we're screwing back on. And for those that were wondering, let's see. Okay. Of course, we're going to get our wrench on here and make sure that's good and tight. But the new sensor has now been installed. Okay. We've got our bolts placed back in place. The new sensor's installed, and we have connected our fuel sensor connection. So last thing we have to do is go ahead back in here, reconnect our fuel pump, put our back seat in, and we should be good to go. So, okay, just like that, real quick, easy install. Not much to it, probably took maybe 15 minutes. So it's not a big deal to go ahead and replace that high pressure, high fuel pressure sensor. So just so you guys know, the symptoms I was having with my vehicle were after the car was warmed up, and actually I drove to work in the morning, car was warmed up, I shut it down, went back out for lunch. I'd get ready to start the car. My fuel pressure wasn't quite showing what it should. So on my JB4, I would turn it on and the car would be really rough. Sometimes it would stall, and it was showing that I wasn't getting high pressure fuels, wasn't getting enough high pressure. Now I know that I have a brand new fuel pressure, low pressure fuel pump in there, as well as I have the old style, plunger style high pressure fuel pump. So it's mechanical, and I really shouldn't have too many issues with that. I would try to stop the vehicle, or I turn it off and turn it back on. As long as I turned the ignition off on the car, when I would go to restart, the car would start up fine without any issues whatsoever. If I left the ignition on and tried to restart, I couldn't, for some reason, it would give me the same issues, like it was an actual issue with electrical with the sensor itself. So that's why, I decided, okay, easiest thing to do is for us to replace the high pressure fuel sensor. It's an older sensor at this point, and I know that's been a big issue on all of the N54s. So we went ahead and swapped it out on this N55, again, early model N55. We're going to monitor it and see where we're at. So again, if this is your first time to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Try to keep this video short for you guys. If you guys want to see any other type of modifications or maintenance or any types of things like that on this F10, just let me know. But I will try to bring you guys some more content. You guys be safe, and we will catch you guys in the next video.